Foodscapes are architecture and urban spaces designed for food, especially in cities. They are thought to produce food in a more direct and sustainable way, providing in-depth knowledge of its communities' thought interaction. Some important concepts are food environments, in which people and food are related through everything that come to interact within cities. Food miles, the distance any food has to travel to end in your plate. Food desert, where no food is available or is limited, while food swamps have a lot of food but the unhealthy kind. Food oasis, what all foodscapes wants to achieve, healthy, accessible, nutritious food always available. Foodscapes have an encompassing benefit for any city, improving overall the lives of the people that live in direct contact with them. We'll explore foodscapes from the national scale to our site and all that encompasses its understanding and research. Tijuana, Ciudad Juárez, and Chihuahua are border trade points for agricultural exports. Monterrey is a major food processing center, while Guadalajara excels in agricultural production, including tequila and avocados. Mexico City, the country's largest hub, depends on surrounding states like Queretaro for fresh produce. Acapulco contributes seafood, and Mérida and Cancún provide tropical fruits and regional cuisine.
Querétaro has played a crucial role in Mexico's historical development, such as the independence movement, the promulgation of the Mexican Constitution, and the shaping of the industry, agriculture, and urbanization from the 20th century to today. Querétaro has grown exponentially in the last 100 years, favoring economic growth over social well-being. This expansion was possible thanks to development in its industry. In the 7th century, agricultural growth defined the region. The railroads arrival in the 1881 boosted trade, and by the mid-20th century, Coca-Cola and Kellogg's expanded its food industry. In the 1980 industrial park further diversified the economy. In the 2014, food became the second largest manufacturing sector, highlighting Querétaro's key role in Mexico food network.
Querétaro, at the heart of Mexico's industrial corridor, is where agriculture and industry intersect. Federal Highway 57 and Kansas City Southern de Mexico play crucial roles in transporting goods, linking Mexico City to the northern states and the U.S. These infrastructures facilitate food distribution, connecting local producers to national and international markets. Distribution of auto parts makes up 40% of economic growth in Querétaro, making it not only an industrial state but also based on the location and node for market logistics. Agronomic production in the state is mostly located in the south, with a high production of corn and poultry.
Querétaro's location between the Bajío region and the Sierra Gorda provides it with significant geographic advantages. This transition between different terrains fosters economic, ecological, and social development, with climate and altitude playing a crucial role in agricultural production. The variety of climates allows for diverse crops across different regions. Umilpan with nopal, Santiago de Querétaro being suitable for vineyards and grape production, Jalpan with an environment that supports coffee cultivation, and Pinal de Amores with oak forests that thrive in its high-altitude, cool climate. In itself, the state has struggles with access to nutritious food. The municipality has higher cases in food insecurity, but lower percentage based on the population density. Food security in Querétaro varies with population density. Santiago de Querétaro, the most populated area, has 794,000 inhabitants, while El Pueblito followed with 115,264. Despite urban growth, food security levels remain low. 5 to 20, the areas with lower population and fewer resources continue to have the least food security, highlighting a notable inequality.
Querétaro faces a paradox in nutrition. It ranks as the 12th state with the highest obesity rates while also dealing with malnutrition and poor eating habits. Despite an abundance of food, much of it lacks essential nutritional value, leading to severe health risks. In Mexico, over 77 million people die of non-communicable diseases, based on the sedentarism and a bad diet. In Querétaro, 47.81% of the mortality rates are based on these diseases: heart problems, diabetes, and malignant tumors. Socioeconomic status and poverty are strongly linked with food security. Non-communicable diseases pose a high spending in health services, which tend to keep rising. Impoverished and vulnerable people have a higher mortality rate with these diseases, limiting their quality of life.
A significant portion of the population has walkable access to stores, like Walmart, H-E-B, and local fruit shops, offering varied food options, though unevenly distributed across neighborhoods. Many have easy access to convenience stores, mainly selling processed, low-nutrient food, contributing to food swamps and poor dietary habits. There is an increasing water crisis in the state, with a very growing population and the debilitation of water sources in the city. Agriculture takes up 63% of the water, making production of food have a massive water print.
It is also alarming the water print for the production of crops in Querétaro, comparing it to the water crisis it is currently living. Distrito Querétaro, introduced in 2024, is an innovative urban project driven by three of Querétaro's leading academic institutions: UAC, Tec de Monterrey, and ITQ. This initiative aims to integrate food innovation, sustainable manufacturing, and a strong environmental and social perspective into the city's development. At its core, Distrito Querétaro fosters collaboration between universities, the private sector, and government entities, positioning itself as a hub for knowledge, industry, and sustainable urban growth.
DistritoQRO has had an increasing population density, having to accommodate housing for workers in a number of industry. Inside the polygon of study, making it a place with mostly working class and students from the universities that delimited as of now. The main goal in the approach and concept of DistritoQRO is the rethinking of urban spaces in the city, starting with the first proposed polygon of a study, which is still in development and can be subjected to change with proposed investigation. The success of DistritoQRO relies on a dynamic interaction between key community actors. Academic institutions serve as center of talent development and research, while students, residents, and industries contribute to the area's economic activity. The government, both municipal and state, provides infrastructure and policy support.
As observed, currently the polygon is defined and limited by the intersection of these three universities. We have to comprehend and interact with these limits to propose an intervention, and even change where it starts and begins based on the needs of the population. Queretaro enjoys 2,785 hours of sunlight per year, averaging 7.6 hours per day. This abundance of sunlight creates opportunities for sustainable energy solutions and urban planning strategies that maximize natural lighting. Prevailing winds primarily come from the east, with occasional influence from the northeast. This climatic factor plays a crucial role in urban ventilation, air quality, and energy efficiency, particularly in the design of buildings and green spaces within Distrito Queretaro. Our polygon is located in a full urban area, surrounded by rural and semi-urban spaces, granting it full services with more developed infrastructure.
Physical barriers shape accessibility and movement within DistritoQRO, the most relevant and apparent being the industrial zone, covering almost half of the entire site. These barriers create challenges for pedestrian connectivity, emphasizing the need for inclusive urban design that promotes accessibility and integration. DistritoQRO offers excellent connectivity with the rest of the city via public transportation. Most of the main bus routes pass through this area, providing easy access to various parts of Querétaro. DistritoQRO is surrounded by the two major roads, Cinco de Febrero and Bernardo Quintana. Cinco de Febrero is a high-traffic road connecting the city to northern highways, while Bernardo Quintana handles lighter traffic for local circulation. The most populated area in the polygon is San Pablo, with over 8,000 people, with a total of over 21,500 people in this area of the city. It is also relevant, as was mentioned before, that most of the population living in the area are of working age, followed closely by the student population.
Homes in the site are mostly well developed, where more than 80% have electricity, sanitary services, and drainage. Inequality significantly influences access to education and opportunities in certain areas of Querétaro. Low educational levels and high migration rates contribute to economic disparities, limiting social mobility and workforce development. This underscores the need for inclusive policies, ensuring equitable access to education, training, and employment opportunities within the district. Why is Distrito Querétaro so relevant to Foodscapes? It has a central localization with a strong working population based on the industries within the site. It is a perfect starting point for densely populated areas to improve food disponibility that is now limited and disconnected.
Most of the supermarkets where a great variety of food products can be acquired are located only to the north of the site, making it difficult for all the population to access. There are only three markets, the biggest suppliers for fresh and healthy produce.
Mini markets or convenience stores are strategically located across the site, almost guaranteeing the consumption of unhealthy and low nutritional foods for everyone in the site. These food establishments are second alternatives for markets or supermarkets, with a much lower scale supply of fresh products, such as fruits and vegetables. These small businesses, as shown in the map, are greatly common among residential areas, run by people from the community. Lastly, on the mapping, we have prepared food, more commonly known as fonditas, which sell food like restaurants thought to be more of a homemade quality, but almost tend to be unhealthy and reminiscent of fast food. They are mostly located surrounding workplaces and universities.
There has been a great state of concern for food policies in Querétaro government. There are a variety of programs to combat food insecurity and the non-communicable disease that come with a lack of good nutrition. Another overcrossing issue of improvement and nutrition is the rising cost of food. The basic basket can cost about 1,000 pesos, which is almost $50. There are multiple community food initiatives surrounding the site, providing that an intervention of the same category with the help of bigger institutions is not only possible but also logical for the site.
Our first example, El Rincón Verde, focuses on teaching people how to grow your own food in very limited spaces. Zona Viva Urban Garden invites the community to participate not only in food production, but also strengthening relationships amongst your neighbors. Lastly, Mi Huerto, Tu Huerto provides tools for people to build their own urban food gardens.
Food is one of the main focuses of our research, but providing a full global understanding of health in DistritoQRO is important. Most of the population in Querétaro does a little bit of exercise. Guaranteeing spaces for movement and exercise is fundamental to the health of the population. There are several public parks, apart from the green urban areas shown in the map, proving to be few and far between. The same can be said about especially exercise spaces, limited to only 4 inside the site.
The site has great potential. Its composition and development can allow it to transform into a more sustainable city, providing its citizens with a better quality of life. As of right now, food and accessibility are lacking, but there are spaces that can be repurposed or more greatly taken advantage of. Here are some of those factors we identified. Considering all these points of opportunity in and surrounding the site, we question ourselves. How can the people in this polygon of study thrive? Why limit the study to the intersection of the universities and not its immediate surrounding? How can we achieve the Distritos Querétaro's objectives with modifying the existing urban layout? With that, we have suggested an initial walkable radius from these focus points to keep asking questions and further investigating the opportunities it has. Thank you.